Derek Whitham, in 2014, the lead singer of Sum 41 almost died. Almost died. His organs were shutting down. Just like another band. But, happily, after a few weeks, he drank himself to death. So, kids, or adults, or only drink if you're at a party. Yeah, that's a good thing. No, just don't actually drink. So because no one around him was stopping him at the time, and this is a story. Sum 41 ended up, but it almost got there. Because back at the beginning, let's go back to the beginning. The story of Sum 41 in 1996, where we were at the verge of one of the biggest. And when I'm sadly mean biggest, I mean hugest punk thing of all time, pop punk version. And honestly, it is not a place you want to hear a bunch about. The suburbs of Toronto, very normal, very regular, really pop punk or punk. Or really, the suburbs sound like this place didn't really seem punk or rock. This seemed like pop. No one likes pop. Here we don't like pop fans. But Derek Winter started putting up together what would be Sum 41 when he was 16. Him and Jacob on bass, and Dre and Dave Baskin on bass. I can never pronounce the names. I'm just calling them by the first name from now on. Tom on rhythm guitar, Steve on drums, and these guys were playing fast, catchy, aggressive pop punk with metal influence. Cool. On the island, which the major label, in 2021, they drop all killer, no filler. And if you remember 2001 in On the TV, you heard Fat Lip, you could not avoid Fat Lip, or N2D. In MVT Radio, Warped Tour, Sum 41 went from Alexander until Pop Punk Kings. Not that king. In the next video I'll do Blink 182. And then my plan is to Blank, and then we're doing Sum 41, Blink, and then at the end of today, I promise you'll see a no use for a name video. I'm just built like that. Fat Lip was such a specific song. It was catchy, jam punk, and aggressive, and too deep, with a completely different. With a story, one was a two-stick. In fact, both of these songs on the same album. And this is why this was Sum 41's peak. This is where they were at. Then it would only go down. In 2002, they released Does It Look Affected? And this is where things start getting heavier, more metal, that pop hooks. You can still hear them pushing something darker. Not emo, but that's what are interesting with Massive. They could have just made all killer no filler too, but they turned because 2004 Chuck in again I need to talk about Chuck, especially the story behind this album is insane. In 2002, Sum 41 was filming a documentary in the Democratic Republic Congos and where they're living. The Civil War broke around it, liking around, and eventually the UN peacekeepers and Shadow Man named Chuck Person, which is an album title coming from their whole album is about after the guy who saved their lives. That's a fact. I didn't believe it. I thought that was BS. I'm like, no, they'll believe you. Screw you guys. But no, real. They almost died in a civil war. Imagine that. Imagine we would never get any of Sum 41's new albums. 2006, Brown Sound, their lead guitarist, generally one of the best guitarists in pop punk, quit and leaves to a band called Brownbridge and played heavy metal. The sound huge because Dave playing was a massive part of Sum 41. sound like Sum 41, their solos, the metal riffs, underneath that pop punk structure. That was him at the bottom, pulling it all up. They replaced it and it kept going, but the chemistry was different. Different! Oh my god, why did I say that? And there was Deacon and Avril doing Derek. Okay, Avril got married in 2006. It looking like there was no gossip. The two of the biggest pop punk artists of the generation, and you're gonna marry to each, and they got divorced in 2010, and that's affected Derek's soul of Sum 41, and his personal life is affecting the music. They put out Underclass Hero in 2007, Scream Bloody Murder in 2011. Both were solid, but not Sum 41 no longer. It was more, they were 2001. But 2014 happened. The crisis, Derek almost died. Derek rushed to the hospital. His liver and kidneys were failing, and I just want to say this clearly, on the cutting edge of dying. His body was shutting down of years of alcohol, and you have to take this seriously right now. If you're ever gonna drink, be careful how much you drink. Yes, I do sound like a nerd, but if you're gonna drink, be careful how much you drink, cause a lot of alcoholics die, and that's the sad part about some punk bands. Some punk bands die because of drugs, alcohol. I'm not gonna name some of them, but I can name some. I probably can't name a lot of them, but I can name one. Sublime's lead singer died of drugs, and I had an uncle who I don't really like talking about this. I'm not really gonna talk about this that much. He was an alcohol, and he went to the hospital because of alcohol. So be careful how much you drink. It's okay drinking, but don't drink too much. That's all I'm saying. Be careful out there. He recovered. It took a month. In 2016, Sum 41 came back with 13 vocalists. And guys, 13 vocalists is good. Like, legitimately good. It was heavy. It was angry. It was personal. And you can hear everything that went through the songs. Fake My Own Death. Hits different when you know all this. In 2019, Order Declines was another heavy and another Politician record. The band was never made Fat Lip anymore. Honestly, that's fine. They grew. But 2023, Sum 41 was breaking and done. Final tour, final album, Heaven and Hell, or Heaven XL. I don't know really what they want to do. The whole album released in 2024, and a lot of rights, sadly exactly, more complete. The band gave up everything. They survived the war, survived addiction, survived the lineup precious. And in that day at the end, Derek was the real reason why Sum 41 fell apart. Because the guy at the center was falling apart, putting himself back together, and finished the band's proper story. I wish I got to go there. I do. And, but, sadly, I could not go there. Because I am broke. So, while you're at it, like and subscribe. Because I'm broke, I have no money. But, if you don't want to subscribe to me, subscribe for my dog. Ruby, girl, come here. Look at her. Sub for her. She is a cool dog. Subscribe for the dog. Or else. I'm just kidding. Sum 41 was more than Fat Lip. There was a band who survived and finished on their terms in the suburb tragic and pop punk history, and they earned a legacy. What's your favorite Sum 141 era? Dilly Dilly Pasta, The Heavy Chuck, or the comeback label? Subscribe for my dog or me. Matters, pick which one you want to pick. See you in the next one. Maybe not. You'll never know.